How are
Hi,
you doing, Naut?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm doing good, thank you. So, how's your day so far?
Oh man, well, I guess okay. I mean, we had a big festival at the weekend, Bloodstock Festival, which is an amazing experience. Played on Sunday, and then yesterday to rest, and so it's back to work today. So what can I say?
Yeah,
It is what it is. Yeah, but okay, not bad. How are you? Good.
I'm doing good, Not doing well. So, Not Slain in the Spirit is scheduled to be released this Friday. So, can you tell me a bit about the songwriting and the production behind this album?
Yeah, sure. Well, starting with songwriting, we started it like demos pretty soon after we finished the last album, Apotheosis. In fact, we started it before that album was released because we were just signing with Candlelight Records at the time, and that process takes a little while. So we had maybe 6 months between that album being done and being released. So I don't know. We finished that off, and well, it was a lot of work, and it had been a long time at that point since we'd actually written anything. So you kind of, even though the album's coming, you kind of really want to, get going with the riffs again. I think I really like doing that, just picking up the guitar and discovering ideas. So there's no problem to start early, happy to. So yeah, we did that, and I think it was probably because of how Apotheosis was, it's quite atmospheric, cool album, but more focused on like emotions and had like almost like a kind of sad feeling to it. And I think that we kind of wanted to respond to that and do something that was going to be heavy and
Yeah,
quite in your face, give you a more powerful feeling, I suppose. So I think because we had that in mind, it was quite easy to come out with those kinds of risks because we hadn't done them for a while and we really wanted to. So yeah, it was a really nice explosion of inspiration, really. So yeah, that was the writing, and we were really pretty much ready to record right before the pandemic sort of took
yeah,
hold, and
yeah,
it would have been soon anyway. So really, like the last year was kind of figuring out how we could manage to do that between all the restrictions and everything. But we're lucky we did a lot of it with home studio and emails and voice notes. It's not the perfect way to work, but it did work, and we were really lucky because the UK just sort of allowed recording studios to be open sort of in the
yeah.
winter. So we hadn't seen each other for a long time until we were in the studio again. But
Mhm.
everybody did what they needed to do. We worked at the songs. We were super proud of them. So yeah, really getting into the studio was a nice feeling for us because I hadn't seen each other in so long. In the countryside, away from all the media, all the noise. Just focused on music for a few days, and yeah, it's had a great experience. And so yeah, it's been a difficult year, but to have the album to work on has really kept me in a good frame of mind, I think. Yeah.
Sounds great. Sounds great. Not and not talking about the cover art of the album is something interesting on the cover art. And is there any particular concept or theme that you have put behind this album?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you mentioned that in the last question, actually. Yeah, so it's about kind of an altered state of consciousness, could be like hallucination or like nightmares, where your brain is presenting different things to you,
Yeah,
non-realities to you. And, sort of looking at that from all angles, really. And the broad theme of the band is death, of course, right?
yeah,
So we'd heard about this idea of like near-death experiences and the way people have visions when they're dying. And
mhm,
there's science behind that too, from chemicals in the brain that are released when you die. So we started talking about that pretty early on that we wanted to do something like that that would be a little kind of meant to be like a horror but from your own mind, right? So yeah, we focused on that, and so when it came to the artwork, we'd worked with David Theory before on the last album, and he's a friend of ours. We really like him. There was no question that he would do it again. Actually, I'm not even sure if we discussed it. It was just okay. So when we messaged David, so yeah, we did that, and we remember from the last time, the first time we worked with David, we had like quite a specific idea for the cover art,
yeah, Yeah.
And he's just like, we spoke with him in Norway about it, and he sort of sat there and went, no. And we thought, okay. And he's like, oh, I'll do something like this, a sketch like on a beer mat. And we're like, okay, I'll give it a try. And then he sent the artwork for Apotheosis, and it was perfect, way better than our idea. So we were like, okay, that's what we like about him. He has his own ideas, his own way he wants to work, and he knows what's going to work best for him. So we thought, well, this time we won't tell him what to do because he'll do his own thing anyway. So we thought, we'll just tell him nightmare. That's the only theme, okay? Just a nightmare. And once again, he sent the idea. Like, yeah, it's perfect, So it's kind of I look at that image like it's almost like a bit like hell, but in the mind, in the psyche,
Yeah.
I'm very happy with it. I think it really suits the way the record sounds as well.
Sounds great. Sounds good. And any plans for this Friday for the release of the album?
Probably mostly making parcels, Well, to be honest. Well, not really. I mean, there's a lot of stuff out. I have a show the day afterwards, which we booked because it would be so close to the album release. So the show is going to take place in the woods, in the forest, in the north of England. It's a very intimate show, only 100 people, sold out. It's a nice venue, like it's like a cabin, really far from anything. You're in the mountains, you're in the forest, it's beautiful. So yeah, we're going to do a show there with just 100 attendees, and my other band, Winterfield, will play as well. And that's going to be kind of like, way to celebrate the album, play some of the songs live. We have Victoria, who sang the guest vocals. She'll be joining us. And same show we just did at Bloodstock, actually. Yeah. So yeah, it's going to be really cool just to celebrate the album and sort of get it going there with some of our close friends. And then down the line, we have a few more shows, release party in London, just getting around some of the cities in the UK while we're I'll see how it happens with international travel as things progress. But right now, it's just great to be back on the stage. So yeah, I guess it's really just standard promotion of the album, doing lots of interviews, and people have been really great. Loads and loads of pre-orders and pre-orders. So when I said making parcels, I really mean it. It'll probably be a day of making packages.
Yes, that's great. Sounds great. And I had the opportunity to listen to the album and in the full. So the album is fascinating. It was super awesome. So each song was perfectly done, and it was quite good from you guys. So thank you so much for that. And while listening, like I was seeing like although the roots are from black metal, like it's progressing more towards death and more of symphony added to it. So how has the idea been coming into, and how do you plan to do more experimentation to the band?
Yeah. Well, like I said earlier, we knew we wanted to do something harder and heavier. So there's that. I think from the beginning, we never really wanted to be like strictly black metal. I mean, those things have always been there, a little bit of progressive, a little bit of death metal sound. But I think maybe on Apotheosis we started it was a little more black metal directed. I mean, to be honest, it has a lot to do with what you're listening to, and also I guess maybe the kind of state of mind you're in. I think if to delve it, when I did Apotheosis, it was like maybe like kind of a gloomier time in my life, and maybe because of that, I wanted to bring out all the black metal stuff. But I don't know. I mean, like I think we even had a talk about it actually. Like what direction do we want to go? Because there's all sorts of music that we love. Even in metal terms, we're talking progressive metal, or even like sort of classic prog sounds from the 70s, or certainly death metal bands. I was very inspired. Our drummer Slow Key plays in a death metal band in the UK called Beetlejuice. Brutal death, kind of old school, like in Tomb style kind of stuff, but a little modern flair. And so I went to watch their recording session anyway, because it was cool to see him record drums for different bands. So to be honest, a lot of what inspired it was that I saw what he could do in that context, and very fast blast beats and lots of changes, and I thought that kind of inspired me to write some riffs that would push him up to the really fast speeds. And I don't know, it's not deliberate, but I think maybe we just we're caring a little less about fitting into the black metal world, really. Don't get me wrong, we love the genre. And it's been our home, but that's not what music is for. I'm not saying we're reinventing anything, but we want to get the flavors of all the different things that we like in there.
Yeah.
Again, with the extra symphony, it's always been there, but maybe it seemed a little more probably because I was locked in my house for a while, so I spent some time just working on keyboard because I can do that myself. And yeah, huge fans of bands like Hemphill and Bonnie Carter or whatever. I love the detail and also the size it brings to it. I know, sure, a lot of people don't like it, well, it doesn't really matter, I think if the band means what it's doing and it stands behind it, then it'll come across as something sincere rather than something, I don't know, too gothic or too, whatever people might say, So yeah, it was really just about, we like all these different things. We don't want to work with any limitations or any ideas of what we should or shouldn't be doing. It's just all about making music we're happy with. So it was really cool that we were able to make songs that have all these elements in them, but still, I think they flow quite nicely. I don't think it sounds weird. I mean, at least that's my thought. Sometimes you listen to an album and it's kind of obvious what they've done, like they're playing the normal style, and then it's like, oh, I did this, and it's like, but it doesn't flow. I think the song still makes sense, but people that have heard the album, like yourself, have been picking up on that and commenting on it, and it's really nice for us in the band to hear that the people are enjoying that about it, and I think that probably makes us more confident to keep pushing our own way in the future, because make music for ourselves at the end of the day, not to try and fit in with any one thing, So.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's great. And Naut, how has the journey been for you guys so far?
What you mean, like the whole band, or
Whole band.
Oh well, good, really good. We didn't really start off this band with any like big ideas. We never would have guessed even that we'd have done the things that we're doing now, really. We just wanted to make songs with friends, and got a little recording set up and started just having fun, like throwing some riffs together, and I showed the guys that you could add like VST strings or whatever. It was really simple stuff back then, but it was just like, oh, that's quite exciting, and I think because we just sort of got in the habit of like making some songs together, little things started to appear. We learned that Anchorite on the bass really had quite a good singing voice. This is where we learned that I could do the extreme metal vocals. There's a lot of it was stuff we'd never done. We just had the recording stuff. We're pretty bad musicians, really, to tell you the truth. But we really had a lot of passion, and so I think the fact that we knew that we could make stuff in the studio, it made us want to become better and better songwriters. And so we did that for a while, and then it was weird. Cacophonous Records got in touch, and they were like, "We want to sign you." And we were like, "Really?" And so they signed us for a second album, and that started doing really well. And then people wanted to book us for shows, and this was all like kind of a bit like, "Whoa, okay." So it was like finding confidence, I suppose. So that's when we hooked up with Slug, our drummer, and he's a really good drummer. And then we played a show with like Dark Funeral like straight away, and this whole thing was just like, wow, they kind of surprised us. But as I look back on it, it's a nice thing really, because I've been in other bands, and a lot of time in the band you're chasing these things, and it was nice for people to take a look at what we're doing recording and kind of help boost us along really, and encourage us to take things further. And then that happened. We played a load of shows. We went on a European tour. We didn't even think we'd do that. We went out with Winter Filler, who I now play for, but at the time, that was a great show. Did a 21-day tour in Europe, and Candlelight Records came, and it's just grown bigger and bigger and bigger. And I almost feel like every year or so something happens that makes us just go like, wow, look at, last Sunday was that huge show we played. It was unbelievable. I was still, trying to believe it, I think, and for all of us. But we're happy about all this, and sure. I mean, there are things about being in a band that aren't so easy, but it is worth it. And just the fact that people out there that wanting to buy our music or listen to our music, and it really it is a great feeling. I wouldn't change it for the world. None of us would. So yeah, I mean, sure, it's a bumpy ride. It can be tricky, you know,
Yeah.
travel, the arrangement, and you know, making sure you're making music. It's a lot to do, but yeah, it's great. The ride is a good way to put it. You know, we get to travel, meet people, make music. What could be better, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. So, what would you like to share some of the crazy moments that has happened to you guys in the tour?
Oof, crazy moments. Yeah, well, I should have one of these stories ready in my mind, really. Yeah, like we're not like mad like party guys. To be honest, sorry to disappoint. This it's not Motley Crue, you know.
Yeah.
No, crazy moments, crazy moments. Well, you know, I've drawn a blank out. Like now, I'm gonna sound like we're the most boring guys ever. Like, oh yeah, nothing crazy ever happened. No, I remember once years ago, we were flying out into Poland, and you know, people actually told me about this before, but for some reason I didn't think about it. You know, the stuff gets packed away and just goes where it goes. Right, so we go on a plane, and some police officer grabs me from behind, and I had the bullet belt in my case, you know, for the stage. Yeah. You got some bullets in your bag. I'm like, oh crap, yeah. Obviously, I know it's just a belt, right? But they don't know that. So I take me to a room and you know interrogate me. They were okay because I was saying, look, they're not live. You have to look at them, and I showed them pictures of the band. Like, look at this here, like you know, this instrument or whatever, you know. Don't arrest me, right? And so they looked at it and they're like, okay, you're fine. But then like literally, I looked at my phone at the time and plane was like leaving 5 minutes in the office. I was about to run like so fast, thinking I'm gonna miss this flight. That was pretty crazy. And on the way back, actually, I thought I'd have the same problem, but the Polish airport was like, yeah. Comments on the Polish border force there. That will have to do for now, man. I mean, you know, plenty of times where people are getting too drunk or whatever, this and that, but you know, nothing really that affects the shows too bad. You know? We save all that for afterwards usually, you know. So that's the best I'll do for now.
And also like when it comes to black metal, there are a lot of controversies revolving around the religion and stuff like that. So when you write songs about picking up the evangelical or the Church of England, so do you face any problem with that sector of people?
Not really. I mean, not directly. I mean, we do study like these ideas in our music. You know that. Sort of discuss ideas that come up in religions, and you know, on the one hand, like I'm not a supporter of religion, particularly not organized religion. I have a distaste for it, but at the same time, being the man I am from where I am from in the UK, it's not like I can sit here and say that I feel really attacked by religion in the way that people in other parts of the world can. So I think that if I sat here and pretended that, you know, that I really like had strong reason to despise organized religion myself, I don't. It's more the idea of it. I don't like the systems of control and the sort of predisposed impact on human mentality, closed-mindedness, and this kind of thing, and just the organization of it and the effect that has in the world. Effect on me directly, not so much. So that's why you know you're not getting so much like in the music all the time about that. So the way we approach these kind of things when we're you know discussing these lyrical themes is more objective. So the religious criticisms or like criticisms of dogmatic thought, it's more like an objective study, you know, like we will look at those angles and we would twist things around, twist meanings, but you know, it's not like I'm walking around all day with pure hate sitting in my heart for the church. I guess I just don't like the idea of it, but our lyrics, it's more to explore the topic and look at different angles, and more to encourage people to think their own way, rather than for us to say, you know, this is the way of thinking, or this is our way of thinking, or this should be yours, or you know, this shouldn't be. It's not for us to say. Instead, we prefer to like open up topics that are interesting to us, kind of unpick them, like, you know, think of cool ways to sort of discuss them and get them out in the lyrics. And but yeah, I mean, how people interpret that is up to them. You know, I feel like religion is like kind of it's a limit on your brain and the way that you can think, and ultimately, you know, that holds back the growth of people, and I see the way it holds things back in the world. And like I said earlier, you know, there are plenty of people out in the world that really are subjugated by religious forces, and that's a terrible thing. I'm just not sure if that's really my fight. Yeah, so that's that. It's not like no, I'm not going to be burning down a church next week or anything. I don't think so anyway.
And not like when it comes to touring, there are a lot of bands who had put a lot of creativity inside in the touring. Like they come up with different ideas when they go for touring. So is there something that is in your mind that you really want to do sometimes in the future? Some crazy stuff in the tour?
Do you mean like with the show itself, or like
with the show itself?
Oh yeah, man, for sure. Of course we do. We're definitely that kind of band, and we're always looking for ways to do that. Actually, like the festival just gone. Our bass player broke his collarbone, so we had to change things up a bit. He does vocals as well, so we had him on vocals, and Victoria, the other guest vocal, and the other vocals, made 2 huge tables covered in candles, and they stood at the sides and did that. And yeah, we had these huge like smoke jets and stuff going off. You know, we built all this ourselves. You know, we always want to make a great stage show where we have lots of candles and things like this. You know, anything we can do to build atmosphere. You know, so before we do anything, we're always looking at, okay, what's the stage like? You know, what can we do? You know, what can we do to make this special? And sure, it's only like a bit of decoration or whatever, but we think that it adds to the show. You know, we want to play the music, right? Of course, but you know, there's a real potential with this kind of music, and you know, to create a great atmosphere and a great experience for the audience. And yeah, I mean, one day, of course, it would be great to have, you know, the flame jets and all this. You know, everybody wants that, man. You know, the wind machine.
Yeah, interesting.
I don't know, man. Yeah, like I couldn't tell you like especially what, but you know, the sky's the limit. And if we had the chance to play with a 100-piece choir and orchestra, we would do it. I mean, I'm probably saying that's not going to happen right now, but yeah, we love stuff like that. You know, I've always loved, you know, that kind of big show thing as well.
Yeah,
AC/DC or Rammstein or
yeah,
I love all that stuff too. I'm a rock and roll fan at the end of the day. So, and even in black metal, you know, there's a bit of theatre, always has been. You know, think about bands like Latin or bands like that do a lot live on stage. I think it's cool. You know, some people like stripped back. Not me. We like the full glory. You know.
Interesting. So, Naut, finally, what would be the message from you to your fans around the world?
I would say anything to all of them. It would just be to thank them. The fact that you all listen to our music and you know, you want to wear our shirts and buy our records. That means the world to us. Absolutely. You know, we make music because we love it, but yeah, the fact that people out there support it and they want to hear more, like that gives us such drive, makes us want to make more, makes us want to get out there, travel and see them. I'm just very, very grateful that anybody would take interest in the music, and that it's really enriched our lives, made our lives better. And yeah, so if I could say anything, it would just be thank you for doing that, because without that, it would still just be us in the bedroom, you know, the keyboard. It still kind of is, but yeah. So thanks, and I guess like you said, said, the new album's coming out on Friday, so please check it out. We really hope you enjoy it.
Awesome. And Naut, thank you so much for the time you have given me today with this interview. And thank you for this amazing new album, Slain in the Spirit. And I hope a lot of people will start loving the band and more people will come to your shows, and it's going to be awesome. So thanks for the time.
Yeah, right. It's been a real pleasure to talk to you. Really nice to speak to you. And I'm really glad that you enjoyed the album as well. And so, yeah, hopefully it won't be for the last time. So take care of yourself.
Take care. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, mate. Bye-bye.